Hello everybody and welcome to my video. Today I will be reviewing WandaVision Episode 2. I'll try not to include any heavy spoilers in this video just like my last one, in case you haven't seen the show yet. I'm just trying to give you the premise, nothing too much more. Of course, you should probably watch the second episode of WandaVision before you watch my video if you don't want to know anything about it beforehand, because I won't give any heavy spoilers away, but it'll still be a little bit to do with the show. But I thought this episode was really good. It was even better than the first one. This episode just had so many good things about it. I love the intro. It's just completely different than the last one, and it just fits more of a 60s theme. Because I think every episode, at least for the first part of the season, is going to be a new decade, a new era of sitcoms and just different shows. And it seems like it'd be hard to tell the difference between the 50s and the 60s because I'm sure they were very different. But at least for me, they seem similar, kind of interchangeable. They're both black and white, at least for TV, they're interchangeable. But this had a good change. They didn't outright say, oh, it's the 60s now, but you could tell. They had a joke, a Red Scare communism joke to hammer in that era, because that was a time where there was a Red Scare, I think at least. But it was a good job. I think they did a good job there, at least for distinguishing between the two and making this episode have a different tone and a different feeling. And much like the last episode, there isn't much action in this. I think this will be a trend for a show, at least for the first half of the season, as things start to really build up. I hope this is all going to build up to this big finale, but I like quieter episodes like this. I feel like it's great to focus on characters. I thought that the talent show in this was really funny. I really liked that premise much more than the last episode. It wasn't the normal MCU where Thanos is going to wipe out half a world, and I love how this is just something new. It's just a talent show. Last episode, I hated how Wanda couldn't make her, the meal for the boss just by summoning it or something like that with her powers. Because she's like a super powerful witch lady. How can't she summon food? But this episode didn't really have a moment like that, at least what stood out to me. It was this huge improvement for me compared to the first episode, and a big reason. This is a big reason why I liked this one a lot more than the last episode. What I'm actually about to say here is a huge spoiler, so please step ahead, I'd say 30 seconds if you haven't seen WandaVision yet. But that ending of this episode was just awesome. Everything is colorful again. I think it's the 70s. Wanda's pregnant, and there's that scary beekeeper out of a sewer date. I don't know what all this means for a show, but I'm excited to watch the episode next Friday. I thought that the neighbor, her name's actually Agnes. Last video, I didn't know she had a name. I'm sorry about that. That was my bad. But she was just so annoying this time. She was a lot less annoying in this episode. I just don't like her as a character. I think she's annoying and not the best, but like I said before, she does fit the sitcom theme of having that nosy neighbor, but she's just not the best in my opinion. Like last episode, the credits and intro of this were 9 minutes long in total. 9 minutes. So this episode is 37 minutes long. That is deceiving because when you do the math and, take off what's credits and the intro and the recap, it's more like 28 minutes of content. I think that it's great for people who worked on the show to get credit, but they play the credits in so many languages, and this is just not necessary. I don't see why they can't play the English credits if you're in an English setting, and the Dutch credits, just as a random language for an example, when you have your language settings on Dutch. They play it in, a bunch of languages, and I don't like that. It's, like I said, it's great that people are getting the credit in a bunch of languages. I like that. And it's not the end of the world. This whole credit issue is just about credits. It doesn't have to do with the actual content of a show, because the show's still excellent so far. But my hopes are just skyrocket when I watch an episode and I'm like, oh, it's 37 minutes long. And then I'm just sad afterwards because it wasn't like that. You subtract 10 minutes, it's not nearly as long. Anyway, besides the credits and a few other things, I really, really like this episode. You can just tell that a lot of hard work went into this episode and really the whole season so far, and I can appreciate that. I'm gonna use a word here that I rarely use and say this was a fantastic episode. I hope the rest of the season is on this level of quality. I rate episode 2 of WandaVision a 9.5 out of 10. So, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video because it would really mean a lot. Make sure to tell me if there are movies or shows you'd like to see me review next, and I will see you in the next video.